they give a great performance, both of them, and I think, I hope people will be touched by the film and have emotions, being connected through emotions to these characters and to this world. So my name is Lucile Hadzihalilovic, and I'm the filmmaker of that film, the director of that film, The Ice Tower. The Ice Tower is a sort of fairy tale, a dark fairy tale, but there is a part of it which is in reality and a part of it which is more fantasy, because there is a film within the film, and I can come from both sides, like from the side of a reality and the side from the fantasy, with this my film and the film within the film. So it's based on Andersen's tale, The Snow Queen. It's a very free adaptation because I focus mainly on the girl who is the protagonist of the film, a young woman, young girl, and the Snow Queen herself, and the encounter of them both. That's a very sort of classic story of a young person. In this case, it's a young girl, a teenager girl, that lives a bit in a very cocoon place. Even if she's an orphan, it's not like a horrible life she's living, but she's like separate from the world in a way. She's now, we can imagine, 16 or something like that, and it's time for her to discover the world. So she goes away by herself, and she wants to reach the city, which is a kind of kingdom for herself already. And then this is where she will end up finding a film studio and discover another part of reality, which is the fiction, which is the cinema, which is a place where you build imaginary world. I would say that the fairy tale helps me going there, because I think it's easier when with form. That's why also I'm always doing some kind of fairy tales, because if it has been reality, maybe I wouldn't dare to go there, or it would not be as easy. But because it's in this form, in this aspect, it helped me going further and more in darker. I'm a bit like Jeanne myself. I needed the reality to be a bit transformed, a bit stylish. Even if it's supposed to be the real world at the beginning, it's very simplified. So it's the mountain, it's the tiny house where she lives. With Jonathan Ricquebourg, the DP, we decided, and I have done that before in my other films, to have steady shots with no movement, and also to do it in cinemascope, which is oblige you to make some choices, quite strong choices in terms of framing. So that's already something very stylish in a way. And we try to use also places, locations, elements that reflect in fact the mood of the characters. So it's a bit like expressionism in a way. And so we work on also very much on emptiness with a frame, and to have less element, to be kind of minimalistic, and also with silence a lot, with the soundtracks, with little dialogue, or whether it's not too much music or not too much sound elements. So each element has more strength, I hope, at least. In this situation where there is a film within the film, with the director in the film, and it's not so much a director in the film that is looking at the actress, it's the girl from outside, and it's the only person that seems to be looking at the actress. And for me, she's the one who created the world itself. She's projecting a lot of things on Christina, and at the same time I think the actress is building his own character, rather than, it's not so much a director who is building the Snow Queen, it's Christina projection. She is Dr. Frankenstein. It's a mirroring thing, and it's one mirror the other one. And for the first time, Christina, since a long time maybe, there is someone who really looks at her and feel empathy toward her. And I think Jeanne is very much someone, more than being looked at, wants to look at. There is a similitude in between that. At some point Christina has been like Jeanne this teenager, and now she had taken the wrong path, maybe somehow at some point. Jeanne is at the same point, same place that she was, and she had to make choices. And maybe Jeanne will not make the same choices than Christina. They give a great performance, both of them, and I hope people will be touched by the film and have emotions, being connected through emotions to these characters and to this world. Every day on the shooting you are surprised, because what you thought will be the strong element, sometimes it's not that strong, but there is another thing. For sure, the first thing is what you get from the actors, and what I get from Clara, which is a very newcomer as an actress, and what I get from Marion also was, I guess, what the reality they created, the character believable for, at least for me, it was the big surprise somehow in this film, because we had to build also places like the ice rink, like the set on the set. That was also a surprise, because you have imagined it a bit, but at some point it becomes real, it becomes a bit different. Or you find at the editing, you find where to cut it, that is a surprise, you haven't thought of that. And the sound also, when you put the music, when you find the music, for instance, for the ice rink, suddenly it's given another dimension, or this kind of thing, which is common to when you are making a film, or when you find the city where to shoot the film. So it's Bolzano in the it's close to Austria, and it has you don't know really if you are in Italy or in Austria, and it's a kind of abstract city somehow with this that was perfect, and this rational architecture was interesting, because it was in opposition with the fantasy world of a film within the film, rather if it had been a 19th century type of architecture.